Hello and welcome to the 2012 Suzuka Grand Prix in Supercup. I am Tom Parker and with me I have Will Panisi alongside me. Hello Will.
Hello Tom and hello everybody.
We've just come to the end of practice with Jim Freeze as a surprise top. He's a couple of races now in the Supercup and he's actually top ahead of Alex Cooper and Petter Katsar. We've also got Dave Carr-Smith racing today for CSG. He's down in 12th place though, so not the usual domination we see from him. Yeah, we're good to end of practice now. Qualifying coming up soon. Both titles could be decided today with Petter Katsar. I think he needs to finish ahead of Alex to win the title today, and Torrent are 40 points ahead of. Who the hell are they ahead of? CSG. They're 40 points ahead of CSG with only 27 remaining after this race. So that one looks to be sealed, but you never know.
Well, you know, absolutely, Tom. The championships are still open. Obviously, both Petter and Torrent are in a very strong position at the moment. They definitely would like to be in that position rather than in CSG's shoes. But we've seen everything happen in the Supercup before. We've seen, you know, first lap incidents. We've seen races turning out in very, very weird ways. So we know that one bad day in the office for Petter especially could mean that we go on the last race in Singapore with everything still to play for. So there's plenty of talk about, and especially this is Suzuka. Everything can happen in Suzuka.
Yeah, obviously turn one's a big attraction for crashes as we saw in the F1 last week, so it's going to be fun to see us turn one. Philip Cullen actually has ended that practice session top for Halcyon. 136 flat, so that's a surprise up there, but maybe it's only a quali pace. Halcyon obviously sporting a lovely pink car and raising awareness of breast cancer, so that's a good token from them.
Well, and of course, Phil. Beside the fact that obviously it's great, there's the breast cancer awareness and support is something we encourage throughout the whole league. But coming back to the rankings, you know, Philip Cullen showing form is absolutely what he wanted to see. He's obviously deep in the fight for third place against Adam Rouse. Only 3 points, I think, dividing the two, and you know, with the fact that Phil seems to be clicking with the track, and Adam is now down in 10th after practice. That could be a very good race from Philip. Obviously, he will try in his best to get in the last race with as much advantage as he can.
Yep, Philip, he's obviously had a bit of a mare since he crashed out from the lead in Italy. He's only scored 5 points in the last 5 races, actually, obviously missing Brazil. So hopefully he'll be coming back to form here, obviously, as you said, in a battle with Adam and Terence for that third place. Although Roy Schroten is, he's quite far away off Phil, but yeah, Roy Schroten's shown great form this season. And he's up there again, I believe. Yep, 8th place, so maybe you can see something from Roy.
To be honest, I think actually Roy will be able to play into Philip's advantage. He's well back of Philip, and to be honest, I'm not inclined to see Terence as really in the fight for third anymore. Terence at the moment is 14 points behind Adam. There's not much left to play for in this season, and I think it would be a very long shot to get to Philip. Surely for Roy, most likely for Terence as well. But Roy could definitely get in the individual races. Get in the way of Adam, or especially take away big points for the pair of them. So he definitely will play a factor, but I don't think he's got much of a say in the fight for third anymore.
Yep. So Terence Gregg is the first person out on track for multi-force, followed by Boyd Bryson. So who are you going to have a prediction for pole then? Obviously, we've seen quite a few people going quite quick.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a great fan of Phillies, but I don't think he's got in himself with the the competition that's today. He's got to get the pole. This Jim is doing really well. Alex is obviously chasing the championships, and Peter has been taking the best out of the cars for so long. And on a track like Suzuka, I definitely see one of these three, getting the pole position. If I have to pick a name, I'll say Jim.
Yeah, well, I think I'd be inclined to agree with you there. Jim's looking menacingly quick. Obviously, last time out he raced, I think it was in Spa. He span a lot and had a bit of a rubbish race, really, by his standards. So hopefully he'll be looking quick here again. Alex is actually... Oh, sorry, my mistake. He raced in Brazil. So, Jim had a bit of a mare, but hopefully he'll be back to form today. Alex is now the first car out on track. He's overtaken Terence. And he's just coming into the Casio Triangle now. With Dave Carson behind Terence, so see what Dave can do during this session. An interesting stat we got from Dave before he left was he hasn't been beaten since mid-August, so maybe we'll finally see the end of his reign at the top of the GPVWC timesheets. So Alex goes into turn 1 now. Lovely little sweeping section here in sector 1. If you get this wrong, you get the whole lap wrong, so a lot of time to be lost and made here. Keeping a consistent 4th, 3rd gear. Now will he go flat out through this left-hander? He does indeed, so Alex looking on for a good lap so far.
Obviously, not only is he's doing a good lap, he's got free track in front of him, and I mean, the last thing you want here in Suzuka is find a slower car in front of you in that first sector, because there's basically not a single chance to pass them without losing time. And so far Alex has been really lucky on this lap, and obviously taking the chance to be the first car on track really helped them.
Yep, just coming out of Spoon now. He's done that well, so it's a clean lap so far for Alex. I think I spied Dave. Yep, I thought Dave was going to pits there, but my mistake. So Alex coming through 130R now. Down to 2nd gear. Oh, bit of a twitch there, but quite safely through. And the first time in the session we're going to have is a 136.3, so not as quick as we've seen in practice. Dave Smith goes top, unsurprisingly, with a 136.0. Got some times coming in now. Keith Camilleri is 137.0. Boyd Bryson, a 142 there, so it looks like he's had a bit of a scrappy lap. Guys, with Jim Parisas, the 142.1. Jack Nichols pops into 5th there with a 137.8 racing for Hawkeye. Yeah, Pettis done 153, so looks like he got held up or had some traffic.
Yeah, not the lap that Peter wanted to sort of put his mind at ease early in the session, but still more than 15 minutes left, and we know how controlled and such a talented driver he is, and I'm sure there's plenty more chances for him to get the time. In a sense, we know he wants to finish in front of Alex, and in order to finish in front of Alex today would be enough for him to clinch the championship. But in any sense, he doesn't really have to risk, even if he controls, the situation and just keeps close to Alex for the rest of the race. He'll still get into the last race, assuming he chooses to race, because he's not a huge fan of Singapore, with a considerable advantage. So the good cards are in Peter's hands at this moment, and he's surely going to play them wisely.
Yep, so now the other two, those two rather, Alex is the one under pressure, so he's the one who's got to pull the performance. Whilst you see Scott Bennett in 14th, made that 15th now, he's lost his front wing and he's trundling around in his Kernel Sport. He's coming onto the 130R very shortly, so hopefully he won't be getting in people's way. Dave Smith's improved to 135.5, that's a very good lap time there from Dave. Quicker than what we saw in practice, so Dave looking quick already. He's backed off by the looks of it, so it looks like he's going back into the pits. Jim's popped up into 5th with only 137.0, so he's got a bit of catching up to do.
And surprisingly, Peter Kosa's second lap wasn't particularly fast either. He obviously improved his times. They were shockingly slow on the first one due to some problem, but he's still only in P18 at the moment with a 1:38.8. So still a lot of work to do for the Norwegian.
Yeah, but I think he did get held up by Scott. I think he ran into Scott at the Degners as Timu Toika's gone off in front of Adam Rouse. I think Timu's lost his rear wing, so not a best return for Timu. He's obviously back for PB after a few races out. He's fixed his connection, so it's nice to see Timu back after a long time out. Adam Rouse has popped into 4th with a 1:36.7. Oh, and he's just lost it coming out into the long left-hand just before sector 2. Well controlled there, though.
You were mentioning about Timu. He's one of, he's a very popular driver in the paddock, and everybody seems to have a laugh at him. But obviously, he was dogged with, a lot of connection issues, and I think he did the decent thing there, which was to avoid, ruining not only his race but other people's races. And hopefully, his connection is going to be much more reliable now, and it's going to allow him to race with us on a more consistent basis.
Yep. It's nice to see him back. As you said, he's a very popular guy, so it's great to see Timu back. Terence Gregg has popped into 3rd with 1:36.3. There's 3 drivers there on the 1:36.3, so it's very close there for the fight for 2nd place. But Dave Carr-Smith still leads the way out by 7.5 tenths. But obviously, as we know, Jim and Petter are still yet to compose competitive time, so still waiting for the 2 Torrents to show their hand.
Obviously, coming back to the Torrent, obviously Torrent having Jim now supporting Petter, just like CSG is now drafted in Dave Carr-Smith for these last races. How much do you think that these very, very strong teammates are gonna play a part in the championship fight, but obviously trying to help their teammates?
Well, I mean, we've seen it in the last few races with CSG. They brought James Shepard in, and he was there to basically back off the Torrent drivers for Alex, and it did work to some effect until Alex had I think he crashed in Road America and had to fight his way back. But yeah, I mean, Dave Carr-Smith, I think he won't be going for the win today. I mean, he will be there to help Alex, so it'll be interesting to see if Dave can hold off the 2 Torrents and get Alex to the final race in Singapore with a chance of winning the championship. And Jim, likewise, I mean, if he gets ahead of Alex, he will be there to back him off, obviously. I mean, all Petter needs to do is finish ahead of him, so should Jim or Dave get ahead of their rivals, it will be interesting to see how team orders will come into play as Petter goes into 2nd place with a 1:36.2. Still 7 tenths off Dave, though, so it's quite a lot of difference in pace here in between 1st and 2nd, so whether Torrent are just sandbagging a little bit, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's like a wing packages. We've got high, medium, low. Obviously, I think if anyone used a low wing package, it'd be a bit insane here. But I think the main wing package today is a high one. I think that's what most people are testing. So maybe the difference between that could play some part. And just like hear that, the Torrent manager told me that they're on low wings. So that's my theory out of the window. Rory Schroten in 9th, Synergetic. He's had a bit of a quiet session so far. Used to seeing them maybe a bit high, but obviously we know Rory's got electric starts. He somehow managed to nail them. So, I mean, like I said earlier, if Rory gets ahead of Phil or Adam, it could play a huge part in the battle for 3rd. I mean, he is only a few places behind. Oh, wait, no, he's not. But he's had a Jim Paresis, so that could harm Torrent's standings in the constructors. I mean, obviously with the CSG 1-3 at the moment. Keith Camilleri in 6th, also on the 1:36.3 now, so there's only a tenth separating 2nd and 6th, so it's extremely close for that final spot on the front row. Oh. Petter doesn't improve on that time, I think. Yep, this has 1:37.3 compared to that time round. So Dave Carr-Smith looking in a very good position with only 9.5 minutes to go. He's got 7 tenths on Petter Kassar at the moment. Alex Cooper's in 3rd with a 1:36.3, followed by Terence Gregg. Philip Cullen, Keith Camilleri, who are all on 36.3s there, so very close battle there. Adam Rouse on the 36.7, Kurt Camilleri on the 136.8, Roy Schroeter on the 136.9, closely followed by Ryan Walker on the 36.9, so that rounds out your top 10.
And I think Jim Parizis is now on a time lap, so obviously trying to get back into the top 10 with little less than 9 minutes left in the session.
Yep, Jim currently in 11th place. He's a second and a half off pole, but as we saw, he did a 36.1 in practice, and from what I believe, that was actually a race lap. So should Jim get a clean lap, which he is on at the moment for the 130R, he should be able to get into second place at the very least. With Jim coming through the final corners now. He is up on his own time, but he's still down on Dave, so... And he does improve a 1:36.926, and that does put him into 10th place, so not much of an improvement for Jim, but hopefully this lap will be a bit better. Alex Cooper has now moved into P2 with 1:36.1, so it's back to the CSG 1-2. Very impressive from the CSG boys there, fighting for that Constructor Championship. Ryan Walker's moved into 7th with a 1:36.6 for Halcyon. As for them both, 5th and 7th, so that's a good fight there for the Halcyon team. They are currently in 4th place in the constructor standings, and they've got Hawkeye right behind them, and they're not too far behind Malta either, so this could be a very good, interesting fight for 3rd in the constructor standings between Malta Force, Halcyon and Hawkeye. And with Halcyon having drivers in 5th and 7th, it looks like the team that are on top at the moment. Jim Paris is coming into the spoon curve now. He had a 10th up on his own time. He's got a slipstream there from one of the Malta Forces. Yeah, look at that. He's got an incredible high speed, and he's going through 130R now. He's actually down on his own time, so Jim Paris is struggling, it seems, at the moment. Coming through the final corners now. Oh, he's just twitchy, so that's that lap ruined, but he does continue on. This obviously won't be an improvement, but yeah, Jim looking to improve for the last 6.5 minutes of this session. Matt Cliff has just entered the game for Innovision, that's Watford. Matt Cliff and Kernow Sport today, so it looks like Matt Cliff's joined Kernow and Watford's joined Innovision. Obviously Innovision, 2 new drivers again today. Ben Warren, who started the season out for them, but couldn't do the rest of the races, and Watford's had to leave Kernow because he couldn't do the races, but now can, obviously, and he's joined Innovision. Pet has gone back into second place with a 1:35.8. He's only 2.5 tenths off Dave now, so just to see if Dave goes back out on track, and he's still in the pit lane at the moment, so Dave being quietly confident, I presume, in that car. Alex Cooper, who's actually behind Jim Paris on track. Alex currently in 3rd place. Locks up going into the hairpin there. He's down on his own time by a 0.5 tenth. Following Jim through the long straight in sector 2. Just for spoon curve here, it goes left into spoon. Drops down to 3rd for the second part. Now this slipstream of Jim's could help a lot, because Jim's got quite a high top speed. I'm not sure what Alex's is compared to that, but this could benefit him greatly if he manages to get a slipstream. And he's still down on his own time, but only by 0.04 of a second. Oh, runs wide there, trying to avoid Jim. I think this will be a back to the pits for Alex there.
Just trying to avoid incoming traffic as well, but yeah, Alex comes back to the pits, and wasted opportunity there. Obviously, I mean, his time wasn't improving compared to his previous attempt, but still very fluid situation at the front, and also at the back. And consider the Kurt Camilleri and Roy Schoten have got the same exact. Possible. No, they're. No, sorry, just misread the data sheets, but still pretty close by. Also in the lower fringes of the top 10, down to P13 as well. with all the drivers. I think P13 is the yes, correct, is the last time to be within 2 seconds of the temporary pole set, just Dave Carl-Smith. So plenty of things to talk about in this race. And Jim Parizis is now back in the pits after leaving the game just for a moment. But yeah. Plenty still to play for in this qualifying session, with little less than 4 minutes to go.
Yep, there's nice to see that there's battles all the way through the field. I mean, from Dave and Petter all the way down towards the back, where the PBs and PB Kerr now Tiger Express with Chris Williams and Matt Dick and Willie Tringas. I mean, those two are only separated by a tenth of a second, with Ben Warren only a couple of tenths ahead. So it's nice to see that there is a battle for everyone out there. It's not one driver on their own like you see in Super League sometimes. So it's really nice to see a competitive field. Maybe not all together. I mean, Will Tringas is, Watley rather, is 5 seconds off Dave, but it's still nice to see that everyone has got a battle to look forward to in the race. Petter has come back out of the pits now, maybe in the last gasp attempt to try and steal that pole of Dave Carl-Smith. Alex Cooper is still currently in 3rd place. I think he's just about to start a hot lap as well.
Yeah, I mean, considering we've got a field of 27 cars tonight, considering top 25 within 4 seconds, it's kind of a close field, and especially as the race comes by, there will be lots to keep our viewers entertained, hopefully.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, 25 drivers. There's a lot of drivers for the Super League. Because Alex Cooper loses it in the SSR, lose big off there, and it looks like he won't be able to improve on his lap time this lap. At least, yep, he's back to the pit, so that's Alex Cooper's session over for today. So it looks like Alex won't be on the front row. It's a huge shame there, as he was maybe hoping to beat Dave, but obviously with Dave ahead of him and just ahead of Petter, it's a good opportunity for Alex to maybe get ahead in the race. Petter is on a hot lap as we speak, just coming to the end of Sector 1 now. And he's down on his time, so still half a second down on Dave in Sector 1, so Dave must have a monster Sector 1. He's half a second quicker than Petter there alone, so it seems that maybe Dave's got the car set up for the first sector. Obviously, Torrent having a low wing package on him, maybe Dave's gone for high. So it's interesting to see like two tails of the wing packages, maybe one's fast on the straights, so obviously that'd be Torrent. It'll be interesting to see what in the race if Dave can hold them both off. Petter coming through the second part of Spoon now. And obviously in the Supercup, the tyres take some time to warm up, so you'll see drivers setting laps maybe quicker after 3 or 4 laps. So Petter's first got to do a couple of warm-up laps. He's 2 tenths down this time, but maybe he's just setting himself up for the next lap as he comes into the Casio Triangle now. He drops down to 3rd gear. Petter starts his what may be his final lap. Yep, this is going to be Petter's final lap of the session. So can he somehow jump ahead of Dave Carl-Smith? Off Adam Rouse has done an impressive job there, getting into 3rd place on a 1:36.1, just ahead of Cooper. So that maybe has cost Cooper a lot of time there, maybe in the race to start. Keith Camilleri also in 5th, done a good job there for Warsaw Blue. Jim Priest is also still down in 12th place, so Jim struggled a lot in this session. We were know in practice with the 36.1, so Jim seems to be struggling at the moment with the maybe the setup or the track temperatures, maybe not to his liking.
And I'll tell you, someone else who's not going to be happy about his qualifying effort so far is Philip Collin in 7th, behind all his direct rivals for P3.
Yeah, Phil's 7th place obviously needs to be a bit higher if he's to, obviously Adam Rouse up there in 3rd place. It's going to cost him a lot if Adam can get a good start and Phil get caught up in the melee that is turn 1.
Especially if you consider Petter doesn't have to risk it. If Adam gets a good start and gets to jump ahead of Petter, I think Petter doesn't need to take any risk in fighting him and just needs to control Alex Cooper behind him. So could be a really, really sticky situation for Colin here.
Yeah, it could be. Whilst Petter, coming through the Casio Triangle, he's down heavily on his time. So it looks like Dave Carl-Smith, unless Jim Priest can pull something out of the bag, will be on pole position after his first race since China all the way back in March. So Dave Carl-Smith's done a very good job regardless here today.
Yeah, Petter Kosa returns to the pits, so his session is over, and think the only driver who can reasonably have any hope of stealing the pole position from Dave Smith is Jim Parizis, although he hasn't shown any of the promise that his or his skill makes it expect. But obviously, he's still a bit over the lap for him to go.
Yep, just in the background there, Jason Muscat had a heavy off at the second part of Spoon. He's lost all of the rear of his car, so Jason pushing maybe a bit too hard there at the end. William Tringash just ahead of him. Jason's car seems to be bumping on tyres there, but anyway, yep. Jim Paris is coming through the final corners now. I can't see what time he's doing at the moment, but to the line he goes. Can Jim finally get into the top 10? He can indeed. He goes 8th place in 1:36.4. So that moves ahead of Roy and behind Phil Cullen. So, looks like everyone finished today. We've got an unexpected pole. Dave Carl Smith still on top here in GPVWC with 1:35.5. 3 tenths ahead of his Torrent Motorsport rival, Petter Kassar, on the 1:35.8. Those two are the only ones to get under the 36-second barrier, so impressive job by those two. With Adam Rouse third, Alex Cooper fourth, obviously a bit disappointed for Alex, maybe crashing in the first sector on the final lap. Kid Camilleri with a good job there in 5th place for Waterloo Racing. Terence Gregg, another good job there for the Multiforce GP in 6th place. Philip Cullen maybe a bit disappointed with his performance today, but still 7th place is a good job. Getting in the top 10, Jim Parizis, the second Torrent, is in 8th place, maybe a bit disappointing for him as well. Roy Schroten for Synergetics in 9th. Ryan Walker, a good top 10 on his Halcyon Racing team. Jason Muscat just missing out on the top 10 in 11th place. Kurt Camilleri in 12th with Waterloo. Jack Nichols, the second Hawkeyes, in 13th place with Martin O'Connor heading his teammate Andres Pestovs in 14th and 15th. Boyd Boising is another disappointing qualified session for him. He's usually up there in the top 10, he's only 16th place, so maybe a bit disappointing from Boyd. Morton Venison for Green Sharks Racing in 17th. Timo Toika 18th place on his return to the Super League for PD Racing. Martin Bolgan, the first into Tiger Express Motorsports, is in 19th ahead of Scott Bennett, who rounded out the top 20. Chris Allen in 21st for Green Sharks Racing ahead of George Dabacos for Woods. Ben Warren in 23rd for the first of the Innovision drivers. William Tringas in 24th for PD Racing. Chris Williamson in Tiger Express is in 25th. Matt Clip for Kernel in 26th. And Wopke Hoekstra is the final driver in 27th place for Innovision. So was that what we expected really in qualifying, or were you expecting a bit different?
Well, obviously, very disappointed to see Alex Cooper down in 4th. Obviously, we know his last attempt of a lap was prevented from that off that we've seen. But to see him in 4th, well, that could be the final blow for his championship. And personally, disappointed to see such a talented driver as Jim down in 8th. We know he's been struggling with the car, but when you see someone with the talent he has down below, well, at least we'll probably see some very good overtaking from him throughout the race. Before we actually move on to the race session, I want to remind everybody that you can contact us on Twitter. Our handle is at GPVWC. If you've got any comments, want to comment on the race, on our commentary, or on other championships, or on tomorrow's Super League race, just contact us, tweet at us, and we'll reply, or we'll just cover whatever you want to be covered. So, Tom, what do you expect now of the race with the grid that came out to offer us?
Well, the last time Dave Carl Smith raced in these cars, he crashed out, and he said to us earlier on that he really does not like this mod, so whether Dave can actually keep the win is going to be an interesting one. But the main talking point is Petter in 2nd, Alex Cooper in 4th. Petter's got a real good opportunity here to win the championship. He's done the first part, he's beaten Alex in qualifying. It's just all about keeping it on track now in the race and beating him. We've seen Petter do some crazy strategies in like in Monaco, for example, 0 stopping, and he won the race. So whether Petter can make that to his advantage, we will see. A very good opportunity for him to win the championship, though.
Well, but mostly the question, having seen Dave Smith back in pole position, is can anyone at this stage in the season beat Dave Carl-Smith. He seems to be doing everything right whenever he steps into cockpit.
Yeah, like I said earlier on in qualifying, Dave has not been beating in a competitive session since mid-August, I think, or the early part of August. So he really is on form at the moment, whether he's just clicked with the setups or he's just found the mod to his liking. It's incredible what he's doing. Possibly one of the best performances from a non-championship winning driver in a very long time. I mean, had he done the 30 races in Super League, he probably would only be a few points behind Lucas. So maybe it's an opportunity to miss this year for Dave. But nevertheless, he's here and he's on pole. And another interesting thing, CSG first and fourth, was Torren are only second and eighth. So whether CSG can make the points they need to up on Torren is going to be an interesting one as well throughout the race. But with Adam Rouse there and Keith Camilleri possibly as well ruining their party, it could be a very, very interesting race. So yes, 27 drivers here today. I think that's the highest we've had for a very, very long time in the Supercup. Obviously, as you said, before the end of the season, usually numbers tail off, but they seem to have strengthened and stayed at a good number throughout the season in all the leagues, from Super League down to FC, even in the Masters. So it's impressive to see that drivers are staying on and keeping their contracts in particular. It's a good word. William Tringas does a 140.4 for PB Racing, the only time session in the session at the moment. Alex Cooper to 209, obviously just testing out a start there on the start-finish line. Obviously with him in fourth, he needs to have a good start to try and get ahead of people ahead of him, so that'll be another interesting thing to see at the start. So 5 minutes left in this session. We've got Will Tringas in first, Terence Greg in second, and Alex Cooper in third, all the only people timed at the moment. We'll give this time whilst we're waiting to go through the championship orders, I think. So we've got, in the driver's standings, we've got Petter Kassar ahead of Alex Cooper by 16 points. All people need to do is finish ahead of Alex, and he has sewn up the Super Cup title for this year. Third is Philip Cullen with Adam Rouse, only 3 points behind him, so it's another close battle there. In the standings, Terence Gregg and Roy Schroten are quite close together in the standings, in 5th and 6th. Andrew Morgan is in 7th, although he is not around to be racing at the moment. Same with Ricard Helston in 8th. So those two, sadly, I mean, Ricard especially was showing great pace at the start of the season, obviously talked about as a championship contender, so it's a shame that Ricard isn't here anymore. Marek Skrajnowski in 9th, he's only done a few races as well, but I think his time is up in the Super Cup. And James Shields runs out of the top 10, so top 10, only 3 of them don't even race anymore, so it's a shame to see so many drivers not be able to do it because of the rules we've got, but then I suppose they are being strengthened, so we will see.
Yeah, that's one of the big talking points. Obviously, having like very talented drivers coming in to just compete the odd event in the Super Cup or in the Formula Challenge, and obviously it made sense when we had very reduced grids at the beginning when the championship just launched. But to see now a very big group of drivers able to compete at very good levels, it's probably is a good time to strengthen the rules and make sure that drivers that are genuinely fast and can genuinely compete for a top 10 position can actually go on and do so without having to lose points to drivers coming in just to stand in. So I mean that's something that obviously would probably take place in the next season. It's all the changes for the next season will be announced on the 25th of November at our annual meeting, but it surely is one of the big talking points that will keep us busy during the silly season.
Yeah, silly season only just around the corner. Obviously, Dave Carl-Smith, maybe the biggest protagonist of that. Well, I think he's been offered from 7 up to 10 drivers, but obviously there will be announcements coming soon. Maybe not until the start of the season where Dave's going to be. A few other drivers as well mentioned in the drivers' market. Ruud Hinsebeke is another big one, and James Shepherd. Those two are big names in the drivers' market this year. Ruud doing an impressive job in that Nijo racing car in Super League, consistently outperforming what he should be doing. And James Shepherd, obviously, for Hawkeye, but not announced he's staying there at the moment. So whether he will stay there, we will see.
Well, both, those two names together with Dave Casmith are the three names that are associated with any possible top team in the league, and I think every team would, kill to have either one of these drivers in their car. We know James has shaped and brought the biggest results to Hawkeye, and I mean he's obviously a very talented driver, and I would be surprised if Rick Scott wasn't seriously having talks with him and trying to retain his driver. At the same time, Chris Williamson, manager of Nijo, really has to make an offer and ensure that the car for next year is good enough to challenge for the championship, because Ruud has got the talent to be up there up front, win races, win championships, and it would be a shame if he had to leave the team for him to achieve this success.
Yeah, Ruud maybe possibly talked as one of the best drivers in the league. I mean, you see him on live races, and the time he's done for Suzuka tomorrow is absolutely astonishing. I think it's 3 seconds quicker than anyone has actually done apart from himself. So Ruud in a good car could be an extremely strong force in the league. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of drivers in the league, and there's going to be a lot of spaces for next season. I think the only confirmed drivers for next season are myself at Woods and Lucas at Midnight. So there's 23 spaces, 24 spaces left in that seat. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Norton have an announcement coming at the GPVWC day that their drivers are being linked with a few drivers there, Smith obviously being one of them. So there'll maybe be 1 or 2 more announced, but we've still got a long way to go until the start of the season. And first we've got to finish these 2 races off, and we've got 30 seconds left of warm-up for the Supercup Japanese Grand Prix, with Alex Cooper's on the best time in this session, 1:37.2, just ahead of Jim Parisis at 1:37.5. So those two once again outclassing everyone else who's done the time so far. Going to be interesting to see if Alex can indeed get ahead of Adam Russ, especially to keep in contact with the leading duo of Carl Smith and Petter. But obviously, Dave Carl Smith, his job today really is to hold Petter up so Alex can get ahead of him. So it'd be interesting to see what Dave does during the race in terms of position compared to Petter. What are your thoughts on the race then? Who do you think is going to be the eventual victor here?
Well, I think a lot depends on the start. If Alex can make up some positions, then it will definitely be between Alex and Petter. If Alex gets bogged down or held up at the start by some of the cars in front of him, then I would say it's probably Dave Carl Smith's race, because Petter will just worry about keeping Alex behind him, and he won't be bothered by chasing Dave Carl Smith.
Yep. So if you can pick one name, if you had to pick one name, who would it be?
I would say, because it's such in a streak of form, I would go with Dave.
Dave. Yeah, he's looking supreme in any car you put him in. But I'm going to go with Petter, because maybe pushing, but obviously if he gets ahead of Dave, he will need to push. So I'm going to be controversial, and I'm going to say Petter Kassar for the win.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
There we go then. During the race session, the cars will be getting onto the grid very shortly.
I guess we just have 1 hour to find out not only who's going to win this race, but whether this is the race that decides the whole championship.
Yep, so we've got 36 laps of you here today around the brilliant Suzuka International Racing Course in Japan. We have the formation lap first, damage multiplier 60%. No aids allowed except for medium traction control, auto clutch and anti-lock brakes are allowed on the low ability. So you think you can join us in GPVWC? I think Formula Challenger's final race is next Wednesday at Navarra in Spain. If you think you can join us, just come to gpvwc.com, join the forum, put a post in the introduce yourself forum and say hello. So maybe you could be the next Lucas Euler or the new Dave Carl Smith or Petter Kassar. We'll just have to see.
Well, I think actually it took you quite literally, Tom, because I've just received a tweet from Simtech Motorsport. It's a new Irish sim racing team, and they apparently just expressed interest in joining the Formula Challenge for next season. So it would be fantastic to have new blood, new teams in the Formula Challenge. That's the ideal place to start, at the start of the ladder. So say welcome to the GPVWC.
Yeah, welcome. Obviously, we get new teams coming in all the time. Logiax and FC came in halfway through the season, and they've done extremely well. David Gaspers and Benjamin Zurch taking the FC by storm. Obviously, Jim Priestley has wrapped that title up. I think he wrapped up a couple of races ago. So we do have one champion in FC, and we also have the Super League champion, Lucas Euler, winning it this season with an absolutely dominating effect on the championship this season. Only Dave Carl Smith and Nick Rowan have been the ones to get close to him. Lee Morris, obviously, before he retired this season, has been doing a good job, and James Shepard, since he's joined, has been doing a good job. So, but Lucas was the class of the field, and he has won the title this season for Super League. Kurt Camilleri has actually left the game, so whether they will restart them is we won't know. And Keith Camilleri is actually down to 24, so something's gone there with the two Camilleri brothers, whether it be a connection problem or otherwise. So we're going to have 26 drivers taking the start if we do not restart for Kurt. Dave Carl Smith on pole, coming to his grid slot very shortly. Doing some final burnout to get some heating for the tyres. I mean, in Super League that may not be as necessary, but in Supercup especially, the tyres, you start out at 30 degrees out of blankets, so it's real vital to get the tyres up to temperature here. Especially at a track like Suzuka, where, especially in Sector 1, you've got to have perfect grip. If you make a mistake in Sector 1, you may as well kiss the race goodbye. So Dave Carl Smith has got his car into position. Just waiting for the rest of the drivers now to line up.
Bobke Hoekstra still yet to come to his grid slot.
Yeah, he's just pulling up now, so we are literally seconds away from the start of the Super Cup penultimate round for the 2012 season here in Japan. Dave Carl Smith's on pole ahead of Petter Kassar and Rouse and Cooper. Now can Cooper get a good start to get ahead of Cooper? We've got 1, 3, 4 lights, and it's go. Cooper's got a good start, he's got ahead of Rouse already. Oh, but Petter Kassar's having an even better start, but Cooper's on the long side. Ooh, pushing there over, but Petter Kassar takes the lead into turn 1. Dave Carl Smith down to 4th already. And looks like it's pretty good. Oh, there's a spinner there. And we've got one of the NRTs off at turn 2, but mainly clean through turn 1, so quite an impressive job there by the drivers. Martin O'Connor, that was the spinner there, but Petter Kassar leads the race, and Alex Cooper's got a perfect start for there for Petter, but he has got Alex behind him, so these two look to be duking it out. Terence Craig, an excellent start there into 3rd place. Roy Schroeder, that's the 5th one, an excellent start from him again. Like I said earlier, brilliant starts from Roy, and he's managed to get up to 5th. Dave Carl Smith just into 3rd place there, to CSG have had a brilliant start.
Yeah, and the spinner was Martin O'Connor. It didn't seem to get any damage though out of the spin, so he's now rejoined the group and he's now in 25th position.
Yep, so no damage from the first corner, so that looks like it's very good, but Ben Warren seems to have had an massive accident here at a hairpin. Huge accident here. Something's obviously happened, we'll have to find out quickly for you there. Will Train, that I saw, was involved. I saw, I think, Martin O'Connor as well. So someone's going to one with Degner. My game's lagging. Yeah, O'Connor's pushing Tringat through the curb. Scott Bennett there as well, so... Oh yeah, it looks like some stun, and Team Turkey looks like he's lagged, and there's been a huge accident, a few cars involved there. Yep, Team Turkey's retired from the race, with William Tringas no front wing, so it's a huge disappointment for those two. And Matt Cliff and Scott Bennett also involved there. So at the end of the first lap, Petter Kassar is in the lead ahead of Dave Cooper and Dave Carl Smith in 3rd.
And Scott Bennett seems to have a lot of problems, and I think he's limping on his way back to the pits. Oh yeah, it's not pitting actually, just at the moment there. But he's continuing, but obviously very eventful first lap, as it's usually the case here in Suzuka.
Yep, indeed. I mean, we've got the battle, the top three separated by what? No more than 1 second there. Perry Cassar, Alex Cooper, Dave Carl-Smith running away from 4th place, and there's a brilliant fight for 4th between Roy Schroeder, Terence Gregg and Adam Rouse. Like I was saying, there's battles all up and down the field. Obviously, it's still very early in the race, but there's going to be a few cracking battles here for the race. We've got Jack Nichols up in 7th position. What a great start by Jack Nichols there, ahead of Phil Cullen and Jason Mutter close behind. We've got an overtaking attempt by Ryan Walker on Morton Venison into the hairpin. Didn't quite make it work that time round. So it's brilliant to see some great battles. Martin Bolgan all by himself. Before Bryson down to 20, looks like he had a mare of a start, sadly for him. Ben Warren and Andres Pestov's going side by side, going towards Spoon Curve down in 21st and 22nd. Then moves on the outside and takes that position.
And very, very close between Cooper and Cosa, almost touching. Very close also now to the triangle, but Peter manages to hold on to the lead.
Impressive defending there from Petter, and put Alex on the back foot. And we do think Petter's got the advantage in a straight line, but Alex has to keep him within quite well. And to turn 1 here, Alex Cooper only 2 turns behind Petter Cassar at the moment, with Dave Smith very close behind. Oh, but Petter's gone off a little bit there, but he's kept it on the track. Roy Schroeder in 4th place has managed to break away from Adam Rouse and Jack Nichols up to 6th place, so something's happened to one of the drivers.
And
Terence Gregg, Terence Gregg spanned.
At the same time, while you check what's happened to Terence, Ryan Walker lost a position. He was fighting for P9 with Morten Vendersen, and an aborted attempt to overtake him resulted in Keith Camilleri making his way through, and now Ryan is under attack by Jim.
Yep, so he's got Terence Spann at the Cato Triangle, so that's put him way down into 13th place with Jim Carusis and Ryan Walker. Jim did have a look upside the inside of Ryan Walker into the hairpin, but couldn't quite make a stick, so Jim down to 12th place out of a point position. This is handing CSG the massive advantage, but Jim goes down the inside into Spoon as an impressive move, but he did push Ryan Walker off there, so whether that be deemed to be an illegal move, as both Terence and Ryan go wide at the second spot of Spoon, Ryan just keeping out of the wall there.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I were Ryan, I wouldn't be the happiest bunny on the field at the moment. But obviously, that's something for him to discuss with the stewards afterwards, whether Jim's maneuver was within the rules or not. But obviously,
it's been a huge crash at the chicane. Just see who's been involved there. Just get. Oh yeah, Greg's gone into the pit with the front wing missing, so we have to look here.
And he crashed into a water blue.
Yep, Keith Camilleri. Keith Camilleri span at a Cato Triangle, and Terence Gregg had nowhere to go and just ran straight into him. So Keith Camilleri coming off very well side there. Chris Allen's retired with suspension damage after only a lap, so that's 2 retirements at the moment.
But obviously, you know, Terence Gregg's race is going from bad to worse after just 3 laps. He's now probably out of the fight for any significant points.
It was huge shame Terence obviously fighting with Roy for that 5th place in the championship, but Roy Stroton at the moment is actually catching Dave Carl-Smith, Alex Cooper and Perry Cassar. Fast enough the race so far is actually by Jason Muscat, 1:37.8, so Muscat seems to have the only pace here at the moment. Yep, Carl-Smith right in the slipstream there of Cooper. Seems like Cooper seems to be going maybe a bit slower than his teammate at the moment, so if Cooper has an answer from Petzer up ahead, we will have to remain and see. Roy has a little switch going to it's missed the chicane, so Roy's on the grass on the braking and cost him a bit of time. Jack Nichols has been overtaken by Phil Cullen. Phil Cullen at the inside of the Cato Triangle, and Jack Nichols and him are side by side. There's a yellow flag. Keith Camilleri, just passed up, but Phil Cullen down the outside of turn 1. Well held there by Phil. Crash! Jack Nichols has spun into the S's. from what must have been 7th place. He's only lost place to Muscat at the moment, so not too much damage. He doesn't seem to have got any damage from that accident, so...
No, I don't think he got any, but it was really lucky because Jason was kind of close to him, and he had good reflexes to avoid the spinning Hawkeye of Nichols. So lucky for both of them, and also Jack didn't lose much time into that. Although he seems to be having like significant handling problems, so whether he had, perhaps got a slow puncture or something like that.
Yeah, maybe he got a bit of a tap into the first lap melee in turn 1 and 2, but it's interesting to see that Dave Carl Smith has got the fast lap race of 1:37.7, but it seems to be a bit of a train maybe almost falling behind that. Excuse me, Dave Carl Smith is obviously close, but Roy Schroeter, Adam Rouse has actually got a run on Roy Schroeter going into the Casio triangle here. Goes to the outside, will he make it stick? No, Roy breaks much later and manages to hold the place off. And Adam actually got maybe a slightly better run out of there, but Patrick Sar's got now 1.3 second lead over Alex Cooper, so certainly in control of this race. Adam Rouse has the fastest lap of the race of 1:37.6, so as he's got on the inside here at turn 1, will he make it stick? He backs out of it quite sensibly there, so Adam Rouse hassling Roy Schroeter for that 4th position.
Yeah, Adam knows he cannot risk. He's got Phil Cullen right behind him,
Ryan Walker.
And he
Ryan
knows.
Sorry to interrupt, sorry. Oh, Ryan Walker's out. Ryan Walker's had an accident, it seems. Yeah, he just DNF there, so it looks like maybe technical issues.
Oh, he got heavily hit in the back from an NRT Racing.
Yeah, it seems that Ryan Walker just lost traction coming over that little bump in sector 3, and Martin O'Connor has just hit him. In very, very odd accident there for Ryan Walker, but he is now out of this race, along with Chris Allen and Timmy Chalker. So we've still got 23 cars out of 26 that started, so not too bad for Suzuka, considering it's usually quite a few crashes at the first corner.
I remember some memorable ones from the Super League in the last couple of seasons, especially because there always seems to be cars spinning on the inside and sort of like sweeping the field as the whole field turns into turn 1. So we were kind of lucky this season.
Obviously we've got Super League tomorrow, which starts at the same time, 7 PM practice, and the race will start at around 8 o'clock. So if you want to join us for that, we'll see possibly some more wins from Dave Carl Smith as he battles Nick Rowland for 2nd place in the championship. So Roy Schroeter's managed to get away from Adam Rouse a little bit there, whilst Dave Carl Smith for 1:37.2 seems to be the quickest man on track. Keith Camilleri isn't very happy, that's for sure. He will not be giving heavy points for that, for what seems to what I can't repeat on the broadcast what he said, so yeah, it's not very happy Camilleri. But yeah, Dave Carl Smith, fastest lap of the race, 1:37.2, and they both seem to be catching.
And Jim Parizis is out of the race.
Jim, we'll see what happens to him. Jim Parizis, what's the reason he's had an accident somewhere, so, oh yeah, he's just stopped on track. That's a very odd incident there. He's just stopped on track just before sector 3.
Oh, he had a spin coming out of the spoon.
I think it's Game Mate. Oh yeah, he's had a massive accident with someone. Oh, who's that? Huge accident for the Torrent there. He hasn't got half a car.
It looked like he was a Water Blue Racing.
Jim's gone wide coming out of Spoon. He's span and lost his... So he's lost, that's the reason for the accident. But it seems that he's lagged across the track and someone's hit him. I can't see the name of the person who's hit him though, so... Seems to be a bit of a laggy server at the moment. Seems to be quite a few lag incidents. So yeah, very odd accident for Jim Briggs. Seems maybe he had a game crash. He had one in Brazil, so very, very odd incident for Jim Briggs there. He is out, and that does give the advantage to CSG in the Constructor Championship. All they need to do now is beat Petter, and we can see some interesting battles going to the final race of the season for the Constructor Championship. But first he must pass the ever-impressive Torrent of Petter Passar, who's currently leading by 1.3 seconds over Alex Cooper. And that is all he needs to do to win the championship for this season.
Yeah, can confirm actually that the car crashing into Jim was Keith Camilleri.
So it seems that may be the reason for Camilleri's outburst earlier on.
But then again, you need to say that, you know, Jim was well out of the track, so Keith must have had some problem to end up in that position as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a very odd reason. It seems we've got some yellow flags. Roy Schroten's hasn't actually seems to have spun. Roy Schroten's spun coming out of hairpin, and he's now down to 8th position. So that's a huge shame for Roy, up there in 4th place and having a very strong race actually, not far off the top 3. So maybe we can see a fight back from Roy now as we head into what must be lap 8 of 36 here at Suzuka. Petter Casar is still 1.2 seconds, but I think Alex de Vries is slowly eating into that gap of Petter's.
Now, a kind of strategic question for you here, Tom. We've got Alex Cooper in the fight for the championship, seeing Petter ahead of him, gaining on him, and Dave Carl-Smith right behind him. We know Dave is obviously faster, he got pole time. Now should CSG tell Alex to let Dave go, and Dave may actually perhaps reel Petter in?
Yeah, we saw this actually, I think it was in Nürburgring, where James Shepherd was right behind Petter and Alex, and some people say maybe if Alex had let him go, he might have been able to snatch victory. I think it might be now, it might be, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, personally, I would let Dave pass just to see what, if he could catch Petter, but it is a very knife edge thing. I'm not really sure if they should do it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to Alex and Dave. They are in the same challenge team speak, so it's up to them what they do. I mean, Alex isn't really slowing Dave down too much, I don't think, so maybe not now, but maybe for the pit stops it could be an option. But yeah, Petter seems to be gaining, still be pulling away from them, so Petter's doing a very good job of controlling the pace at the moment. He's actually got the fastest lap of the race on a 1:37.211. So, interesting race strategically and on track at the moment.
I personally wouldn't mind seeing Dave Carl-Smith have a go at Petter and try and jump him. So that could work really well for Alex if Dave could sort of you know, stop Petter from running away with it.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it would help Alex a hell of a lot in the championship. Obviously, we've been fighting with Petter for the title this season. But yeah, it seems to me that Alex does catch up so much in the first part of this lap. He's 1.2 behind into the first sector, and he's already gained a 10.5. So it is just about where they are better on track. And I mean, Petter's probably got the advantage of where he's faster in a straight line. He does have the advantage of Petter. If Alex does get close enough and get into the slipstream, he will hit his limiter and will be able to overtake him going into, say, the Cathode Triangle. So Petter maybe is at advantage of the speed trap, but look, he's already less than a second behind now, going into the hairpin, so it just shows how much a wing package difference can make at a track such as Suzuka, where you've got sector 1 very twisty, sector 2 and 3 very long, so it will be interesting to see which strategy pays out today here at Suzuka.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, strategy is a big part. I mean, I was talking to some of the drivers before, and their informed guesses were like that a full tank allows you for 33 laps, and we've seen now, obviously the race 36 laps, we've seen now Petter slowing down a bit, and you know, talk in the paddock, and especially in the Touring Motorsports pits, was that, you know, taking it easy for a couple of laps may save enough fuel to go to the end of the race without having to stop.
Yeah, Petty has done that a few times this season. He's very, very good, seems to be saving his tyres, and he's brilliant at making them last, and he's done it. I mean, at Monaco he surprised everyone by not stopping at all. I mean, it's perfectly within the rules, you don't have to stop here at GPVWC, so perfectly entitled to do that, and he made it work a few times this season, but if he is doing that, he's doing a very impressive pace. I'm not sure what Cooper's planning to do as a Dave, so maybe they are both doing the same as Petter, but it will be very marginal. George Davicos for Woods Racing has retired, seems to have had an accident somewhere on track, so that's only, so that's another race-ending incident. So we've only got 20 drivers remaining out of the 26 that started.
And Jack Nichols is out. He's out from P8. We'll now try and see what happened to Jack. Oh, he's spun halfway through the S's and went into the wall, and apparently the damage was terminal for his car. It's a shame. The English driver was in 8th position and was a good haul of point for Hawkeye.
That's a huge shame. It does look a bit of a weird incident. I don't know why he would have retired. He seemed to have all of his pieces of the car. So, odd incident there for Jack Nichols, which is a shame that he's not racing. He's had a bit of a tough time this season. He has got pace. It's just a shame that he hasn't been able to make all the races what of his real life commentary duties and just other things keeping him in his way. So, a huge shame there for Jack. His sister Hawkeye, though, Adam Rouse, is in 4th position, doing a very good job of keeping ahead of Phil Cullen here in the battle for 3rd in the championship. Phil's only about a second behind, so that could another Navarro that could spice up during the course of the race.
Obviously now we've got one Hawkeye out of the way, one Halcyon got out of the way with Ryan Walker. Ryan Walker was just tweeted about his race, had to retire from the GPVWC Supercup race at Suzuka after being spun, but Dad is racing. So he takes it with philosophy, which is a good thing, but obviously it's a sort of a draw now in the Constructor Championships. Obviously Halcyon and Hawkeye fighting for 4th position. Halcyon has a 5 points advantage over the rivals, and they seem to be maintaining most of it, with Phil Cullen just 1 position behind Adam Rouse.
Yeah, on Skype with a couple of drivers out retired, it seems that Timu Toika got a huge FPS lag going into the hairpin on lap 1. Will Tringat, his teammate, actually just crashed straight to the back of him, so it's a huge shame there for Timu, obviously. The FPS here, I mean, this mod and I think this track has been a bit of a heavy one for the drivers, so it's a bit of a shame there. And supposedly Jim Paresis crashed because he had a mosquito on his face, which is not the best thing in the world. But it seems that Keith Camilleri may have just actually drove straight into him, so whether that's one for the stewards to look at could be a very, very interesting case of, well, just complete negligence of the wheel tear at all, so that will be one to be looked at after the race. And if it is true, that's a huge, huge shame, so obviously we discourage that out here. Last one to do that actually got banned, so...
Yeah, obviously there's absolutely no lenience for people deliberately crash into other people, so that would, if I definitely hope that's not the case and it was just a genuine mistake, but in any case the stewards will review the situation. We've got a very, very dedicated and excellent team of stewards out there, and I'm sure they will review every incident after the race.
Yep, the disciplinary committee has been tightened this year a hell of a lot, and it has done a lot of good this season. I mean, for the last few races we haven't seen a single penalty dished out, so it's brilliant that the driving standards for this league have risen since the disciplinary committee has come to effect, and it's just great for the entire league, both for reputation and driving standards, so a great well done to the disciplinary committee and everyone involved for their really, really hard work this season. Roy Schroeter's actually just got fastest lap of the race on 1:36.9. He really is pushing to try and make up the time he lost earlier on. He's only 3 seconds behind Jason Muscat, and he is catching him a hell of a rate. So Roy Schroeter's certainly a man on the move. Whether he would pit it soon, it will be remain to see. We've still got about 6 laps of the expected pit time, so got a bit of time to catch Jason up and overtake him. So Roy currently in 7th place, 3 seconds behind Jason. He's only 5 seconds behind Phil Cullen, so 4th and 5th isn't exactly out of the prize. He's just gone off 1:36.6. Roy Schroeter really is the class of the field at the moment, absolutely pumping in those times to try and make that time up from that earliest spin. So it could be wonder, could Roy maybe even sink the podium should he have not spun, so, but Rob Woods could if it's in this league, so Roy's certainly a man on a mission.
Well, there's only so much you can read into his lap times. He's obviously, we know he's fast, we know he's really clicking with the car, but he also has a clean, empty track in front of him, while some of the others, like Petter, is perhaps trying to save some fuel, and Alex and Dave are obviously fighting, not fighting for position, but very close to each other. So he's the only one who can really push the car to his fullest. And I was about to comment on one of the few battles that were still raging across the track between Wopke Hoekstra and Boyd Bryson, but Wopke spun entering the final chicane, so that was the end of this battle. It seems now the field is gradually spreading out. There's a huge gap though between position 10, which is Andres Pestov's, and Boyd Bryson's in 11.
Yeah, you do sometimes get that in racing, you have huge gaps between one place and another. I mean, we see it in Super League sometimes. You see, especially at the front, you've got the top 3 or 4 miles ahead of the rest, and then you've got maybe Rude, for example, on his own in there in 4th or 5th, and then a huge gap back then to 5th, 6th, and 7th. So it does happen in racing, and it's a shame, but I mean, everyone does seem to have a battle of their own at the moment, and Pestov's is only a second and a half behind O'Connor in 9th. So there's something out there for everyone. Roy Schroten, 2.6 behind Jason Muscat now. That time he did, I don't know what lap time he did then, but he is certainly closing in on the Maltese driver. Out front though, it looks like Pekka still has a 1 second lead over Alex Cooper, who's a further half second ahead of Dave Carl Smith. So interesting to see that the gaps stayed around the same for the entire race, and maybe whether the pit stops, if they do any, affect that gap.
Well, it's good to see like Roy obviously having good results. It's a boon for Synergetic. There's been lots being discussed about the future of this team, obviously in the Supercup, in the Super League. Sorry, the future is looking more and more in doubt with the disappearance of the team management. But in the Super Cup, the team is still having some decent results, and obviously Roy is really doing some good results for the team. But it's still many question marks over the team.
Yep, and as we say that, Jason Muscat actually comes into the pit, so the first scheduled pit stop has now been taken on lap 15 out of 36. That's quite an early pit stop there, but it does release Roy to try and chase down Phil Cullen, who's only 4 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, 2-stop strategy for Jason. No, sorry, a 1-stop strategy for Jason,
yeah,
an early stop.
It looked like an early 1-stop strategy, but he has come out just behind Morton Wennison, so maybe that wasn't the best stop for him. But for the Super Cup, it seems like the best idea is to stay out as late as you can, as the tyres don't wear as randomly as people think they do in Super League. So the Super Cup is better to stay out for as long as you can on the fuel and tyres, wait for them to get low on the fuel and pump some really quick laps in before you go into the pits, and then have a short, sharp stint for the end of the race. That seems to be the best idea in this league. I know a lot of drivers have done that this season.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers, I was discussing with a few of them before the race, they were also electing to come in for fuel, but do not change the tyres, because the wear rate of the tyres is kind of slow, and apparently new tyres are much slower in the first few laps, and they may cost you up to 5 seconds, some drivers were telling me. So I wouldn't be surprised if some drivers just popped in for an extra splash of fuel, and that was it.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I mean, myself in the last race of Brazil actually did do that, and I gained about 6 or 7 seconds on the guy who I was racing with at the time, so that's a very valid strategy to think about. So yeah, it's not out of possibility that maybe Petter could do that at the end. If he can't make the tank last, he will just hit for maybe a splash and dash. But Pekka is actually only half a second ahead of Alex Cooper. Alex has really caught the gap down, and he's brought Dave Gosford with him, so it's only a second separating in the top 3 now, so we enter a very interesting race as we head towards half distance in the Super Cup race here at Japan. Coming up to lap Matt Clip, what must be Scott Bennett and Chris Williamson, and one of the Indivisions, so maybe traffic could help Alex here get a run on him. Yes, fields really spread out now. We've got large gaps between drivers over at least a second. I think the closest battle is actually between the top three. So this is the one we're going to have to watch for now. Pekasar only 3 times out of Cooper now, so will Cooper have his slipstream? So that's what Petr really needs to worry about. If Alex has to do his slipstream and he isn't doing slower.
And they're running into big traffic.
Yeah, not to mention traffic that are also fighting. So Alex has actually got the run on Petr, so can Alex make the move into the Casio triangle? Not quite, he does back out of it, but he's got an excellent run, and what the Ostro Whitey gets out of the way of the running trio. Dave Smith's now 8 tenths behind, he's out of the run, but Pekasar really has to defend now from Alex Cooper as we go down towards turn 1 after 17 laps of this race. Alex Cooper, oh, that's a bit risky there, but
that's not a place where you want to, you know, make a move. The space was always gonna, you know, close down.
So yeah, that was a very close accident. Cooper's right behind Catcher. Dave Smith now about a second behind these two, but Boyd's done another fast lap, 1:36.6 flat, so he really is pushing to try and catch Phil after this pit stop. So Chris Williamson a bit of off there as he lets Adam Rouse past. Yeah, Alex Cooper right on the tail of Pekasar. Coming out of the hairpin, we've got a nice battle in first place to not only do race win today, but also to keep the championship alive for Alex Cooper. Should Alex finish ahead of Petr, this will keep the championship alive. So Alex Cooper looking down the Spoon, just showing Petr he's there. I mean, Spoon not really overtaking place, as we saw earlier with Ryan Walker getting pushed out of the way by Jim Paresis, but yeah, Alex Cooper much closer to Petr as was last lap. Gonna have to slipstream. Is he gonna back off for 130R? He's gonna, it backs off for 130R, try and get the better on. Oh, he's pushing and pushing through 130R. Alex Cooper on the outside of the Casio triangle. Does he have a go? He does not. He's gonna play the safe game and better exit out of the Casio triangle to try again going into turn 1.
Well, Petr did the right thing there. He placed his car where, you know, Alex would get no space on the inside, no space on the outside, and not only he had to lift it through the triangle, and that sort of prevented him from putting an attack into on the finish straight and into turn 1. So very good defending driving from Petr, but Alex is now right back at it.
And also Dave Smith is only half a second behind Petr himself now, so Alex really all over the back of Petr here. It seems Alex Cooper's found some pace and really pushing. It looks like he's going to have a move into the Deglers. He wisely backs out of that there, but oh, Petr has a bit of a twitch there going into the second Degler. Brilliant save there. But with the top 3 separated by half a second, it's going to be an extremely close mid part of this race. Alex is a bit wide there in the hairpin, but loses a bit of time, but also puts Dave Smith back a bit as well.
I can tell you here, I wouldn't want to be the management of Torrent Motorsport at this very right moment. I can only imagine what's going through their minds, and it's not pretty.
Now, it looks like pit stops are starting to happen while Andres Petr pits from what was 8th position. We've got Morten Venison coming in for a pit stop very soon from 7th now. Roy Schroeter really is catching Philip Cullen now, far off him not at the moment. And also, interestingly, Adam Rouse is catching the top 3, so whether Adam can maybe play a part in the top 3 battle, we will have to wait and see. He's 2 seconds behind Dave Smith as we speak. Oh, Cooper's got off! Oh, he's managed to save the car, but that's a massive blow for Cooper's championship battle. He's now behind Roy Schroeter. Just get a replay of that now. Debbie goes into Casio, takes the first part fine. Second part, he just goes on the power too early. So huge, oh, he does tap the wall, so he may have a slight bit of damage there, but Cooper's really damaged his chances of winning this championship here today. Not winning it, keeping the championship alive. Sorry, honestly, more like to have this bit of a heavy whack, but he had managed to keep his front wing, so now it's up to Dave Smith to try and get ahead of Petr and maybe slow him down a bit. All of this, though, does benefit Adam Rouse, Philip Cullen and Roy Schroeter now, 3rd, 4th and 5th respectively. The Petr's defending has paid off. Alex pushed this a bit too hard, and there's a result.
Well, I guess if we wanted a battle between Peter Cosa and Dave Smith, now we have one on our hands. Dave Smith took no time to get to the back of the Touring Motorsport, and now he's lining up an attack.
Yep, just passing the lap driver of Boyd Bryson there. He nearly patted into Ryan's shoulder, but he's going fine. Dave Smith, I think he's hitting though. No, he's not quite hitting the limiter, but doesn't seem to have the straight line speed that Alex and Petter have. So whether he's going to have to make it work through the S's is another thing that'll be impressive to overtake through there. So it's half a second behind now with Alex Cooper, unfortunately now doubled down in 6th place and he's 9 seconds off the lead, so Alex Cooper's going to have to shoot a mammoth effort to try and do that. Philip Cummins comes into the pits from 4th place. That's one person out of the way for Alex. And Adam Rouse has also got his pit light on at the moment with Terence Quick off there and people by. So Adam Rouse in 3rd position looking to try and get the leap on Phil Cullen in the pit stop phase. Roy Schroeder behind him. Pit stop is actually not on, so whether Roy can maybe jump Adam, it's going to be an interesting story in the pit stop phase. Ooh, Terence Quick coming into some awkward places, gets people to lap him. Very, very awkward. But he does get out of the way, does a good job getting out of the way there.
Obviously, Adam knows he cannot afford to lose any time, both to avoid losing distance from the top 2 at the moment, but also because he cannot afford to finish behind Philip Cullen.
And yeah, like I was saying earlier, maybe staying out that extra lap longer may actually save, maybe even get Adam to jump or stay ahead of Phil. So we should see if Dave Smith actually set a 36.1, so it's by far the fastest lap of the race as he tried to close down Peter Cassar. Scott Bennett had to retire from the race, and you saw that incident early on. It seems that damage was a bit too much. And Timo Torkins also left the race, so 2 more retirements in the space of 1 lap. Dave Smith doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to him to attack Peter Cassar. He does seem to be a lot good through the first sector, but he just can't make it work through the second and third. And Adam Rouse comes into the pits. Roy Schroeder goes on.
And now giving a look to Cullen. Cullen is just on his way right now to the triangle.
And Adam Rouse leads the pit lane. So it looks like Adam has made the better pit stop out of the 2. Now I wonder whether either of these have actually kept their tyres on. If Adam Rouse hasn't, Phil Cullen will be right behind him, but I think Adam actually has kept his tyres on. Meanwhile, Cooper really is catching on Roy Schroeder, but Roy Schroeder is actually in this lap, so Roy just needs to keep to the end of this lap and not hold Alex up, and we could be in for a tasty final few laps. Final second half of the race, sorry. So Dave Smith once again less than half a second behind Petter, but can't make it work. Yep, Dave much faster through the corners as going to the first bar screen, just had to back off a bit so he didn't hit the back of Petter. But yep, Dave is in his slipstream. Like I said earlier, he just can't make the space. Petter's now actually pulling away with Dave in the slipstream, so Petter just needs to hold off and not make any mistakes, and he can sew this race up, and with it, the championship.
The only question now left to ask is whether Peter Cosa was whether he was trying to save some fuel in order not to stop at all, and whether the last few the few laps he did at the beginning of the race when he wasn't challenged directly from Alex and Dave, whether those laps were enough to get to the end of the race with a saved fuel, or whether now his strategy having to defend from Dave Smith that's gonna force him into the pits at some point before the end of the race, because that could have huge implication. Now Alex is third, and I don't think he will take many laps to get back to the leading pair. So the race could be more open than we actually imagine.
Yep, Alex is 9.5 seconds down on Petter and Dave, so with the 14 laps remaining, it's going to be a tall order to try and catch those two down. Yep, Dave really right behind Petr. It looks like Petr's struggling a little bit with the car in the fast corners, but look, Dave's got right behind him. But he just can't make it work. He just hasn't got the top speed. Look, he has to back off there. Just avoid hitting the back of Petr. Whether he just has a go down into the... Here we go, looks like he might have a go down into the Petr triangle. Nope, he breaks early and thinks he's inched it. But Petr's gone a little bit deep into that corner. He's given Dave the much better exit out of that corner. And Petr's in! Petr's pits!
And now it would be interesting to see the lap times for Dave Smith. He's been in the low 37s and high 30s.
Cooper's in as well.
37.
Oh, Petr leaves his pit box just as Cooper comes in. Oh,
the
in the pit
two-way
lane.
contacts! Was that unsafe release?
Oh, it's a hard one to say there. It's just coming at the wrong place at the wrong time. Very weird pit box for Alex. I think he's sideways, but... Yep, so a bit of collision in there in the pits, whether that be investigated after the race will become seen. But yeah, he's come out ahead of Phil Cullen, but behind Adam Rouse, so he will have to clear Adam Rouse before the end of this race, if he is to win this race. Now, what's Dave Smith doing? Dave Smith isn't in the pit, and he isn't got his pit line on, so whether Dave pits will be another thing to see. We've got 13 laps remaining of this 36 lap race, and Dave Smith currently leads from Petr Cassar, Adam Rouse, and Roy Schroeder. What's happened to Cooper? Oh, Cooper's now behind Cullen. He seems to have made a mistake whilst coming out of the pits. So just have a look.
Yeah, he's lost the position to both Schouten and Cullen by going slightly wide in the S's, and now he's got his work cut out. It's going to be a very, very uphill.
Yep, so this point, so Alex has now got even more of an uphill struggle, whilst Roy Schroeder, I've just noticed, has actually jumped Phil Cullen in the pit process, so brilliant job there from Roy to overtake Phil and now maybe even possibly pump down Adam for third place. He's only 5.5 seconds behind, so that battle for the final podium spot is now very, very interesting. Dave Smith on that lap sets 1:36.9, so the pace is down from what he was doing earlier. But he has got a nice 25-second lead over Petr, so whether it remains seen to what Dave can do to stop Petr winning this championship today will be very interesting. What will the Constructors' Championship also being on the line. By my calculations, Torrent will actually win the title here and now, so whether CSG can somehow manage to fight back and stop Torrent winning it today and get a double championship for them will be a very, very interesting thing to watch out for the rest of this race. But with Alex now, what, more than 10 seconds down on Petr, it's going to be an extremely good fight back if he does manage to do it.
It seems like Alex Cooper really got some damage out of that tap on the wall, because he doesn't seem to be capable to close down on Philip Cullen anymore. Seems to be struggling to keep his car facing, you know, not facing in the right direction, but it seems not to have the speed that he had at the start of the race. So his chances of catching up with the podium positions are like slimming every lap.
Yep, Alex Cooper now 2.5 seconds off Phillips, so maybe that accident has given him a bit too much damage for him to handle in terms of raw pace, which is a huge shame obviously, because we're looking forward to a great battle at the start. I mean, obviously with these three so close together at the start of the race, just one mistake has managed to cost Alex possibly the race and maybe even the championship. So it's a huge shame. He's managed to lose. He's lost another half a second in this lap alone. So although he has gained a lot, he's got a bit deep maybe there, but well held, and he's still lost a bit of time to fill up that lap, and he is actually battling Roy, so he can't capitalise on these two battling while still actually going down the front straight. Battle for Roy. Oh, Roy moves over. Good spending there from Roy going into turn one. This is for fourth position between Roy and Phil. This is going to give Alex the chance to catch up and maybe possibly attack them for fourth. Adam Rouse is actually looking very comfortable out at the moment, looking out there in third place, 5 seconds ahead of Roy, and only a second behind Petr for second. So Adam Rouse having a very, very good race day today. and maybe enough to overtake Phil in the standings.
It is. He would gain 4 points over Phil. Is just 3 points behind at the moment, so he would get into the last race of the season, Singapore, with 1 point advantage over his Irish rivals. So bad day at the office for Philip Cullen.
Well, you say a bad day. He's driving very well. I think he's done a good job to stay up into 5th position. But like you said, Adam Rowles is just pulling a blinder out at the moment, doing an absolutely excellent job keeping that car in one piece and actually keeping it pointing the right way. And it's got the rewards in 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Phil's problem was not being behind Adam. Adam always seemed to have, from qualifying session, more pace than Philip here in Suzuka. What is really hurting Philip is having lost that position in the pit stops window to Roy Scruton, because that's the 1 point that is going to make all the difference.
Yeah, when that's been open last year, points can mean everything. I think Norwegian lost the title by 1 point last season or something to that effect, so points are everything in this place, and if you are only one off, you're only one off, it doesn't matter. Adam, like you say, would take 3rd place over in this championship with 1 race to go in Singapore, and he is game time, and Phil runs over the curb there to lose a bit of time there. Roy also has a bit of a iffy corner there, and he's caught right back up, so this is all playing into the hands of Adam Rowles, who's just walking away in 3rd place. And also playing into the hands of Alex Cooper, has managed to cut that gap down to 2 seconds now, so you can't see him in his mirror.
I was about to tell you, like, the day is getting even worse for Cullen, as he seems to be struggling with his R17, and Cooper may be very close, and 10 laps with someone like Alex Cooper on your tail is not going to be some easy laps.
But certainly not. Martin Bolgin is off in the Casio chicane. I think he's just letting drivers by. But I think he has had an accident yet. He's into pit to go rear wing. So Martin Bolgin has had a bad day off his Tiger Express Motorsport. Chris Williamson in the other Tiger Express Motorsport car is in 14th. So a good day for him so far in the office, with Ben Warren in 13th. Done a good drive for Ben. His first race back for Innovision since Hungary. So he's not doing a bad job. He's not expected much of him, and he's just putting in a solid drive, and he's getting it to the end. He's maybe, even though there's a couple more dropouts, to get a top 10. Phil Cullen's still behind Roy Schroten here. That's got up to a couple of times, but Roy gets a bit twitchy getting into turn 2. Holds it nicely, but a little bit of time lost there. Seems that Phil does seem to have the superior grip compared to Roy, so although Roy is making it work, so fair play to the young Dutchman. And I must say, Roy, personally, is probably one of my drivers of the season. I mean, this season, well, last season, when he came into the league, he didn't do too well, I think he'll admit it himself, but this season, towards the end of last season, he really has improved. I mean, before the season started, no one would have expected Roy Schroten to be leading laps at China or leading the race in other races, and he's done extremely well, so I'll take my hat off to Roy. So brilliant season for him so far.
Absolutely, the work he's done was absolutely fantastic. I don't think he was highly rated at the start of the season. He had this reputation of being quick at times, but very prone to not finishing the race, and he's really stepped up more than one notch. Really, what he's done this year has put him in the sights of many teams as a potential, good lead driver for next season.
Yeah, I mean, I know personally we have offered Roy a seat for the Super League, but he decided he couldn't take it because he couldn't do Thursday. So I don't think we'll see Roy in the Super League next season, but he really is maybe a talent to watch for next season. I mean, everyone starts off not so good in their career. I mean, I was talking to Dave Carr-Smith not too long ago. I mean, when he started, he was one of the worst in the pack, and now look at him, Dave Carr-Smith, one of the fastest drivers in this league. So maybe Roy has just got a long way ahead of him, and he could see a lot from that young Dutchman in seasons to come. And it seems that Dave Carr-Smith has actually pitted, and he's got a nice 10-second lead over Petter Cassar. So Dave's managed to work that very well in that pit stop phase. to Dave Smith with a huge 10-second lead, and looks like he's going to continue his winning streak once again. With Petr Kasata in second place and Adam Rouse in third. Only 2 seconds back, but not really making any inroads into that. Will Schroten currently battling with Phil Cullen in fourth. He's 5 seconds off Rouse, so they have left a bit of time to him with battling. Alex Cooper 2.3 seconds down on Cullen in sixth, and like I said earlier, maybe that tap to the wall has damaged his suspension slightly to maybe just stop the key bit of pace he needs to catch the front few runners. Jason Muscat is in 7th place, but he's 10.5 seconds down on Cooper and 29 seconds ahead of 8th place Morton Venison, so seems like that place will be static. Oh, Roy Schroten has been overtaken by Philip Cullen into the outside. What a brilliant move there by Phil Cullen. Around the outside of the first part of the Catholic Triangle, takes the inside for the second part, and Phil Cullen now through to fourth. That was an excellent move.
And then Schroten's got higher speed, and there's slightly touch even.
Phil defends well, so a brilliant move there from Phil Cullen to move back into fourth place, and that actually does equalise the Sallies in third place. So
no, it actually puts Phil one point ahead. 1 point ahead, because this is a move worth 2 points between fourth and fifth. So Phil Cullen would see his advantage to Adam go from 3 points to 1, but he would still enter the last race of the season ahead.
Yeah, and now with Alex Cooper catching a pair of them, it could be getting quite tasty to fourth place with only 7 laps to go in this 36 lap race. So of course, Roy gets a bit twitchy coming out of chicane, the hairpin, sorry. Managed to hold it, but he's lost a bit of time to people ahead and behind. Alex Cooper now has got him well within his sights. Just whether Roy continues to catch cool and just carry on and try and repass Philip Cullen put into this race. He is catching him at quite a quick rate if he's going down towards the 130R. He will be having a switch as well. Although he is starting to hit the limiter, it's just before the 130R, so yeah, it's caught up a lot, but not quite enough to make a move down into the Casio Triangle. Phil's got a bit deep there into the... he's lost it all! Roy sees his opportunity that Phil gave him there quite generously, but Phil now makes him down the front straight. Will Roy manage to keep this? I think he will, as he isn't someone who's got a half a 10th lead going into the corner. I think Will wisely will back out of that one. So Phil, after making it a very, very impressive move to take that spot, he's just made a slight error and it's cost him fourth place again, with now Cooper less than a second behind.
What can you say about Dave Smith's race? I mean, he was right behind before the Norwegian stopped, and now he's comfortable 8 seconds ahead. Another incredible race by Dave.
Yeah, but Dave does seem to be actually losing a lot of time to Petr, so whether Dave's just saving fuel or he's only in 5th gear going towards, so very interesting to see what Dave's actually doing here. He's lost a lot of time. One of these maybe running into problems. It's very odd. He's lost about 3 seconds lap. Dave's been slowing down to stop Petr. He's done a 140.0, so that's definitely not Dave's pace. So maybe Dave's hit a problem somewhere, maybe.
Either that, or that's like the drop-off we were talking about in new tires. They make you lose a good 5 seconds, which is consistent. He came out of the pits with 10 seconds advantage, and we're roughly above 5 seconds. So that could be one of the reasons for Kurt Smith's loss of performance.
Well, definitely is. Going towards the 130, he wasn't full throttle. He wasn't actually going into 6th gear towards the Catholic chicane. So maybe Dave's just easing off. Maybe he's had an accident somewhere, or it's very, very odd that Dave's just losing so much pace with only 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. Maybe he's going to let Petr have his moment in the sun and let him win the race,
or try and get Adam Rouse back in contention for P2. As we are at the moment with with Dave Smith in first and Alex Cooper in sixth, with Petter obviously for Torrent Motorsports in second, that would mean the construction titles going to Torrent, because they would see the advantage reduced to 31 points. Obviously only 27 available in the last round in Singapore, so that would be, you know, the final moment for that championship as well. So, you know, it's just theories obviously at the moment, and Dave hasn't lost as much in this lap, or has he? Well, not as much as he lost in the previous one, so perhaps it's just taking it easy. There's only 4 laps left and more than 4 seconds left in his hands.
Yeah, we've only lost 1.4 seconds to Petter. Petter actually needed to set a PB lap that lap, so maybe Petter's obviously pushing very hard, but maybe Dave's, like you said, just taking it easy, trying to get to the end, win his first race in Supercup this season. Obviously, as the season started, Dave was actually a Supercup driver full time, but moved up to the Super League after United Arab Emirates, and look what's happened. He's managed to win 5-6 races this season, 5 on the bounce, I think, in the Super League. So he's safely, I think it's safe to say, one of the quickest drivers at the moment.
And amazingly, I don't think he's got any points for the season in the Super Cup.
Obviously he started out in Innovision. Boyd Bryson's actually left the game, so that's another retirement, sadly. But yeah, Dave Smith actually started the season out at Innovision. He did the first few races, qualified quite well. But he just could never make it work in the races. He kept spinning and having accidents, and it was just a real shame, because obviously we know Dave's a brilliant driver, but he just couldn't get to grips with the mod and rage quit in the end and went to Super League. But I mean, Innovision, I think their best result was actually being me from 2 4th places, and Innovision at the start of the season being maybe a title favourite, but who knows? Dave Smith's obviously improved his stock a lot by doing Super League this season. There's a 38.6 that lap compared to Petter's 36.7. Petter, that's a new PB for Petter this race, so Petter really pushing to try and catch Dave Smith in these final few laps.
And Schroten has been has been passed by Phil Cullen and Alex Cooper.
Yep, Roy looks like he's spun. Yep, it looks like Phil Cullen puts him under pressure against the catch triangle, and Roy, like Alex earlier, just put too much power down, coming out the catch triangle, and it cost him 4th and 5th place, now down to 6th. It's a shame, because without those 2 spins, Roy could have been on for a podium today, but huge shame for the young Dutchman, but still a good 6th place. It will be impressive for the driver standings. So that Dave's managed to get the pace back up. He's managed to get in second on Petter this lap alone in the first sector, so maybe Dave's back to full power, as Kimi Raikkonen would say. But that does ease the pressure off Adam Rouse, Phil Cullen, and to some extent Alex Cooper, because Alex Cooper now they will gain some points on time, but will they gain enough? I don't think so. So Alex Cooper with the top 5 now. Maybe try and assault Phil Cullen before the end of this race. I think Adam Rouse is just out of reach, so Adam Rouse on for a podium today, looking very good for this title of the 3rd place in the standing driver.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Adam, knowing the 2 people in front of him and how performing they are. He's done everything he could have done today. He hasn't put a wheel wrong so far. Obviously still 2 laps to go, so we don't want to jinx him, but he's done a smashing race. He's kept out of trouble, and he's bringing home a podium, which is what we needed. He needed to keep his fight for P3 in the standings on, so well done to Adam.
And so it looks like that particular battle will go down to Singapore, the final race, which will be in 2 weeks' time here on Sim Race TV. Down to the front, Petter's only nearly Martin O'Connor's span there, and looks like to got a bit of the lead quite well there, but Petter gained 2 attempts on Dave that lap, 1:36.3, very quick lap there from Petter, so maybe he is just trying to get the final push in his last 2 or 3 laps to take Dave over. But I think Dave's back to his normal pace now. It's very odd, if we get an interview with Dave, we'll have to ask what happened there. Yeah, 3 second gap now between the two drivers. I think Petter may just have left it a little bit too late. Cooper now only a second behind Cullen in the battle for 4th place. Whether Alex can get that done before the final corner and the final time we go over the line will be remain to see. Dave Smith on his final lap now, 1:36.2. Absolutely nailing these final few laps to try and keep Petter Cassar there, and it looks like some horror show goes on for Dave on his final lap. He's going to take his first victory of the season in Supercup. It looks like maybe Alex Cooper has left it a little bit too late to catch Phil Cullen as well. The Dave Smith coming through the final time for the sector 1. 2.5 second lead of Petter Cassar, I think it's safe to say. Without, like I said, a major balls up, they're going to have to take control of this race. And considering we said at the start of the season, at the start of the race, we hadn't got a chance, I think it's safe to say, Dave, you are a liar.
Well, I don't want to be the one who said I told you so, but I told you so.
Yes, like I said, yeah, Dave Smith, absolutely stunning performance today to win. Oh, well, we hope it might be a win. As he comes through spinning for the final time, it does go actually, I was going to go wide there, but brilliantly held. Dave Smith, absolutely class of the field today, having put a single wheel wrong, coming up to the 1:30 for the final time. Petter Cassar left it a little bit too late to try and close. Now Dave Smith comes through the Casio triangle for the final time. Keeps it on the black stuff, and there we go. Dave Smith has won the Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix for Supercup. And Petter Cassar crossed the line in second, and that also means that Petter Cassar has won the driver's title for this season in Supercup. A brilliant, brilliant season by him. So well done to Petter. Adam Rouse in 3rd place. What a brilliant drive for him today for 3rd place. Phil Cullen is coming 4th. Alex Cooper unlucky today with that spin that cost him maybe the championship hunt. Down in 5th place. Will Schroten 6th place. In the end, we've got a long time until 7th place. I think they've actually finished. So Jason Muscat just across the line now for 7th place for Multiforce GP. Yep, you go ahead, Will.
No, just sorry to interrupt you. Just chipping in. Congratulations to both Petter and Torren Motorsports. Torren Motorsports obviously fully deserve this championships. If we think about the dominance they had at the start of the season with Petter and Richard Helston, but obviously Petter Cosa, absolutely brilliant driver, and one we definitely hope to see in the Super League next year. Congratulations also on behalf of the whole GPVWC administration for this stunning title.
Yep, absolutely excellent job by Petter throughout the season. From race 1 he has always been one of the front runners, and it has finally paid off. Alex Cooper's late charge in the championship has just come in maybe a little bit too late, but Alex Cooper can obviously be very proud of himself. He's won what, 5-6 races in a row, so Alex Cooper really did take the fight to Petter throughout the season, but just left it a little bit too late, and obviously today that one spin maybe costing him the chance for the title. But I mean, we must say congratulations to CSG and Alex in particular. I mean, they obviously had a very, very good season. CSG obviously maybe a bit of trouble with the second driver at times, but absolutely excellent from the 2 drivers and the 2 teams there. So the race has finally finished, and after 36 laps, Dave Smith has come out on top for CSG Racing, extending his win run to what must be about 15 races in a row. Absolutely stunning job by Dave today. Petter Cassar, our new Supercup champion, has come in 2nd place today, only 1.8 seconds behind Dave. Adam Rouse, absolutely excellent drive today for 3rd place, which moves him closer to Philip Cullen for 3rd place in the standings. Philip Cullen 4th today, absolutely excellent job from him as well. Alex Cooper 5th place for CSG Racing, maybe a bit disappointed after such a brilliant opening stint rather. Will Schroten will be opportunity missed, he span twice, but a brilliant 6th place nevertheless. Jason Muscat, a very quiet afternoon for Jason, but a 7th place and for multi-40s his reward. Morton Benson, quite a good result from him. Green Shots Racing in 8th place. Andrzej Pestov's also in 9th, and Martin O'Connor attempted some good points there for NRT Racing. Terence Gregg after his first lap Paris has managed to come in 11th place. Ben Warren and Watke Hoekstra for Invision in 12th and 13th respectively. Chris Williamson is in 14th for Tugglers, First Motorsports, Matt Clip, Kernow Sport in 15th, and William Tringa for PB Racing is in 16th, and that was the last of the finished runners. We'll see if we can get Dave Carr-Smith and Pez Kassar in for an interview.
No, absolutely. I probably have to say it again. We were blessed with some absolute stunning racing today. With, as you mentioned, like the top 4 people, an absolutely fantastic race. Dave, we've been like spending so many words praising his driving in the last few months. Another race in which he was performing right when he needed to perform. When he needed to put in the fast laps after Petter had stopped, he nailed them one after the other, and then managed to build such a gap that allowed him to take it easy in the crucial final laps. Petter didn't win today, but you know, he didn't have to. The moment Alex did the mistake, he knew he just had to control it and bring it to the line, and the title was his. And Adam Rouse, an amazing race. Can't stop saying it. Such a brilliant performance. And let's not forget Philip as well. Wasn't his the best setup from the start for him in this race? And he managed to limit the damage as much as he could. Finished right behind Adam, and he can be happy of his performance.
Yeah, a very good performance today from the top one. We do have the top 2 drivers here today. For today, we've got Dave Carr-Smith, the winner, and Pez Kassar, the eventual championship winner. We'll go to Petter first. Petter, all we can say is absolutely congratulations. What a brilliant season yourself. How does it feel?
Thank you. At the moment, I'm pretty relieved because now we don't have to perform in the final race where it's easy to do mistakes with the walls close to the track. So yeah, very relieved that we already secured the championships.
You had a brilliant start which managed to get you into the lead. Was that start vital for you winning this championship today? Obviously, you had to hold Dave Carr-Smith and Alex Cooper at bay. Was that start the first indication that you could win this title today?
Yeah, the start was pretty important, but I didn't see the start important to get in front of Dave, because I was planning that he could just go ahead and I could get the second place, and hopefully Jim could get some points and we'd still get both championship. Only my target today was only to beat Alex.
Oh yeah, Alex had a spin which really probably cost him the chance to fight you. I mean, obviously, Alex, congratulations as well. But Torrent Motorsport obviously have won the construction side today. Just want to say congratulations for that as well. Do you think Torrent have done a good job this season, or do you think maybe other CSG, for example, have had a couple of problems with the drivers, but Torrent have done a very good job, and we'll say congratulations for that as well.
Yeah, we had a pretty good season. We started very good with winning most of the races, and after I think it was after Monaco, we pretty much didn't do any, or at least not much effort to the setup and so on. Pretty much just used the same setup for all races, and pretty much just did what was needed to do, just controlling.
Yeah, so that was Pez Kassar, the Supercup champion for 2012. Brilliant race from you today, mate. Now we're going to the race today, Dave Carr-Smith. Dave, before this race, you told me in Will, you said, I'm going to finish last, I'm going to keep spinning. What happened?
Well, history speaks for itself. First 3 races this year were a bit of a disaster, but it was okay today. The setup was much better than earlier in the season, and I didn't really have to push all that hard, so it limited the chance for mistakes.
Yeah, we saw you late on going very, very slowly. What was going on there? We saw the lead go from 10 seconds down to about 2 at the end. What happened there? We saw you going about 5th gear towards the Cato Triangle. I was wondering if there was maybe a problem with the car or the setup or something?
No, the car was fine. I was just giving myself an opportunity to get out of the way. Had Alex been able to make it back to P2 somehow, but didn't happen, unfortunately. So yeah, it was all under control.
Okay, so pole win, fastest lap. That's the I think we're getting used to that now these days from you. So is it a relief to get a win in Supercup, or at least a finish?
It's nice if you consider the first 3 races. Yeah, I can't complain.
And obviously CSG out of running now for the title, but you have obviously done a great job leading the team. Just want to make up any words for Petter or Torrent?
Oh yeah, Petter and Torrent have done a great job all year. In terms of CSG, I'm happy to have seen us be able to push them so far. It wasn't expected at the start of the season, but we gave it our all. It wasn't enough, and congrats to them.
Yep, so I think I will leave it at that. Will, do you have any questions for the team?
Just a question for Petter. Obviously, in the middle of the race, right before Alex's mistake that sort of settled the championship in your favor, you were under strong pressure from both Alex and Dave. Obviously, that was a crucial moment. You used to have a sizable lead right before, and suddenly both the CSGs were behind you. Was it something you were planning? Were you just like taking it easy for the moment, or were you sort of taken a bit aback by the appearance of your rivals?
Oh, I think I had around 1 second gap for the first hand lap or something. And I knew that there wasn't in the slipstream. But when I got within 8 or 7 tenths, they of course got in the slipstream, and then it was almost impossible to get rid of them because they had more downforce to me. But I knew that as long as I didn't do any mistakes, they most probably wouldn't get past me.
Okay, that's thank you so much, and obviously congratulations again both to you and your team. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, so I think that will wrap things up for today. That was the Supercup Suzuka Grand Prix in Japan. Petter Kassar has won the title today. A brilliant try from him today, and from Dave Carsmith, our race winner. We shall see you in 2 weeks in Singapore for the final race of the season for both Supercup and Super League. Tomorrow from 7 PM we do have the Super League from Japan. Can Dave Carsmith take an incredible, what will it be, 6th race victory in a row? Can he overtake Nick Ronan for 2nd place? And will we see anything else out of the blue? So hopefully you join us all thanks to Sim Race TV, GPVWC, Sim Inc. We will see you next week in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.